What is up, guys? We are live. We are live. Let me just move this mic a little bit. Hold on one second. Let me know if you guys can hear me. There's actually a lot of noise. They sound like they're having a party over here at this taqueria, the taco place right here. So I'm actually just hanging out, waiting for Heaven to get out from dance today. So I did door dashing today and some Grubhub. Just did like a 3 hour, 4 hour drive session right now. So I'm just kind of hanging out. So I have all of my gear with me right now. Like I said, I've been using my car as like an office, and so I've been working on things while I'm on the road and all that. But today I wanted to kind of just share some things with you guys and just kind of go through some of the Cobra Kai comments and all that, because you guys keep me entertained, man. Like, what's up, Art? What's going on, man? And so today I just kind of wanted to, read some of the comments with you guys and just kind of start a talk about it. But you guys have no idea, like, when I read these comments, some of them make me laugh. Some of them actually make me think too. I'm like, man, I never thought about that. And then some of them I'm like, whoa, like there's like a huge essay written, as a comment, which I think is really cool because it kind of just shows how much you guys really care about Cobra Kai, just like I do. And so I'm just kind of taking advantage of the time that I have right now to kind of do it. So what I thought I would do is just read some of the comments and kind of, let me open it up since I have my laptop with me as well. And just read through some of the comments. If you guys have any questions or you guys have anything, feel free to throw them out. I'm like, my attention span's really short, so like I might go all over the place, but somehow I always figure it out. But hey, Art, can you hear me okay? Let me check the connection. Can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up or yes if you can hear me. I'm not sure if the connection was in it right, but let me fix it real quick. Hold on. I have this little tiny loud and clear. Nice. I have this little boom mic that I use. Let me show you real quick. I use this with the handheld when I'm doing a lot of filming and stuff. So I have the small little boom mic that I hook up in here. Otherwise, the quality is kind of all over the place. So let me just fix that real quick. But yeah, so, throughout my drives, the last couple of days, I have more time on the road and there's a lot of downtime. And so I start reading these comments and there's so many comments, guys. It's like, I don't know what the count is. I'm like afraid to even see, but when I usually log in, I'll see like 35 comments. There was one day there was like 150 comments. I'm like, what the heck? And I just checked it the day before. So it's kind of crazy to see all these comments. So but I'm gonna read some of them, give you guys some shout outs too. And I'm starting to see a lot of new people finding the channel, watching some of the old videos that I did from a year ago and watching the channel and commenting and jumping into some of the predictions. So it's always cool to hear your guys' predictions too. And so let's take a look. Hold on, I saw something from Art real quick. Hold on one second. Art says, I believe Miguel will seek revenge against Robbie, training to attack Robbie in season 4. Man, I'm gonna have to agree with you. I think there's his character has to go through a transition. He's gonna go through a whole range of emotion and a roller coaster. And with all of us, anger is always like the first thing, right? You're frustrated because your normal sense of living your normal life has been taken away from you. Like I said, I mentioned this on another live stream where I had like a knee injury, and just recovering from it was so frustrating that it made me literally angry every day. It made me angry to like put my pants on because I would struggle with like normal day-to-day things I would struggle with. So can you only imagine if it's like your spine and you're probably gonna have to relearn how to walk? So I do think that Miguel's like initially will have a lot of anger towards Robbie, possibly towards Johnny, which I really think he's gonna have a lot of anger, man. And there's only one way to deal with it when you feel helpless, like it's to let it out on someone else. Now, I'm hoping it doesn't go that route, or hoping that that he's a good kid, man. I love Miguel's character because he's such a good kid. And you just see kind of like that tough edge to him, but he has a good heart. And so I'm hoping that he finds his way back from all of that stuff. So great comment, Art. Do you have any more? Just throw them in there, man. I'll kind of, hit them as I see them. So But I got this one from Mark Anderson. So Mark, if you're watching this or you watch this on the replay, hey man, I appreciate the comments. And actually, I've seen quite a few comments from you today. So I'm just gonna kind of read this one. Let me know what you guys think. Like I said, I'm just killing time right now, so I thought it would be cool. He says, you have to look at what Kreese says at the end. He says, I'll never let my students lose, even if they have to learn the hard way. One day you'll thank me for this, Johnny. Cobra Kai aren't his students. Johnny is his student. And remember, the Concrete Chuck, he said Johnny was the toughest student Cobra Kai ever had. His student. Kreese is stepping in to keep Johnny from losing. What was it? From losing. He's stepping in and will save Johnny from Cobra Kai legacy and maybe from the legal and ethical fallout from the school fight. Johnny will thank him. Look carefully at Kreese's face and you'll see that he says one day he'll thank him, and he means it. So what do you guys think about that? Or Art, if you heard that, I'll read your question after right now too. You know, like this kind of stuff makes me really think, because I think, like, I look for character behavior. I think I've mentioned this a whole bunch of times. Like, I'm always looking for character behavior and patterns. And so the only pattern that I've seen with him is that he's very, very self-serving, and his interest is the only one that matters. But this question made me really think, like, internally, like, could it be possible? Could it really be possible that Kreese has some bigger scheme that he's kind of working on right now, to, you know, set up the dojo, or to set up something for Johnny in the future? Is it possible? I don't know. Let me know in the comments, guys. Let me know what you guys think about that, because it really made me think. Like, I kid you not, I read it like during a break in between orders, and I'm like, nah, there's no way, man. Like, you know, that's not Kreese. And I responded to that comment, you know, and all that I think Kreese is very one-dimensional. But then it had me kind of thinking, is it possible that he's such a master manipulator that he is looking for, you know, Johnny's type of redemption and all that? So I don't know. So let's see. Let me see. Art, I saw you have a question. Or let me go back real quick. Says there's a rumor that there's going to be another brawl in season 3 that will top the school brawl in season 2. Yikes. I don't even know how you top that scene. I think, honestly, from like a visual standpoint, I think that was one of the baddest like brawls I've seen. It was freaking awesome. And the way that they would cut, not even cut, they would keep a live shot, and people would be coming in and out. What's up, Youth Freedom Fighters? And so, like, people would be coming into the shot, and then it was still one single shot. And I think it was pretty masterful, man. I thought it was pretty epic. So to even the thought of them doing something more, I don't know how you top that, man, unless you have like an all-out war at like one of the I don't know, maybe, I don't know I'm not sure how that would even happen. So let me see. Art says, I think he meant that by being merciless at the cost of that, he'll emerge victorious in many obstacles in life. So Art, that's kind of what I thought too, but what he was mentioning was more towards how like he would bring him back into Cobra Kai. And I think I'm kind of on the same page, where I think he's cold calculated and is more like, this is a life lesson, like don't trust people, or this is a life lesson, like cover your you know what, because then you get manipulated. And I don't really see it as like an invitation to help him somehow make his way back to Cobra Kai. It was more of like, this is what happens when you put your guard down. I've been teaching you your whole entire life, don't put your guard down. You put your guard down, and now I took advantage of you. That's your fault. And so I think I look at it the same way, like those hard life lessons that people try to teach you, or that your parents have tried to teach you, is like, it's kind of like being grounded for doing something, or maybe you get your car taken away of, and your parents say, you'll thank me one day because you'll understand. You're like, how am I gonna understand? You took my car away. Life's gonna suck for a little while. And then when you have kids, you're like, oh yeah, I get it. So I just think that it's one of those more life lessons than, hey, I'm trying to help you grow as a sensei or anything like that. Youth Freedom Fighter says, so now that they started making season 3, can we see any of the episodes they've made so far? Oh man, I would love to see that. I don't even know. Like, you know, I was watching someone else's channel the other day. When was it? I don't know, like random. I get videos that have to do with Cobra Kai, you know, in my stream or whatever, and so I'm like, hey, look, take a look at this one, and it had to do with Daniel's trip to Okinawa. But what was interesting as you know, this guy was talking about it, I wish I would have saved it. I probably have it on my history, so maybe I could put it back in this one after when I get home, the link to it. But what's really strange is he had this screenshot of season 3, and it was the name of all of the episodes. And so I thought it was kind of weird. And so I even left him a message like, hey, where'd you find that? Or is that something that you created? But it looked like a YouTube playlist with season 3's names and stuff. And, you know, we'll see how accurate that is. But I was just like, whoa, where'd you find that? That's pretty cool. Let me see what else. What else is going on here? Youth Freedom says the brawl in the end of season 2, it was surreal. I'm telling you, man, that was one of the sickest fights. And Art's saying that they're supposedly going to be season 3 with even more epic. Like, I don't know how you top that. So let's see. Art says, I think that Kreese will catch a drunk and unemployed Johnny. That Kreese and Silver offer him a dojo of his own. Desperate, Johnny may accept at first, but over time he may break away from Cobra Kai. So I think that, hold on one second, I just got a text from Martin. Hold on one second. I don't know if I can open that, but I don't know if I can. I don't think I can. It's gonna shut down the video if I do. I don't know if he's gonna ever trust him again. And I think, what's that old thing? You know, you fool me once, shame on you. You fool me twice, shame on me. That's exactly where I think it's gonna be heading for Kreese. I'm sorry, for Johnny. I just don't know if he's gonna ever trust him. And even if he presents some scheme to help him, or like you said, he's unemployed, or some way to help him, because you know he cares about him, right? But he cares about himself a hell of a lot more. But I don't know if he would take it. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I don't know if he would take that job. I don't know if he would want to. I do think that they're going to expand Cobra Kai to multiple dojos. So you need more senseis. So I could see that it's logical that might happen. But what's the chance of Johnny actually accepting? Not too sure. Not too sure what he'd do. Let me see. Art says teaming up with Daniel Miyagi-Do. Maybe. Youth Freedom says Robbie will most likely be in jail season 3, and so will Tori. So I actually kind of agree with you on this part, where I think these characters in the first couple of episodes, like, I think there's gonna be consequences. And so I don't know if they're gonna end up in jail, you know, during season 3, but I think season 3 is gonna be about them on the run, trying to avoid law, trying to figure out how to not, you know, be put in jail for it. I think eventually, you know, I can see Tori just running, man. I don't even know if she's gonna come back in season 3, maybe season 4. I don't know, but I can see her definitely running. Robbie, I think, will turn himself in at some point from Daniel, from maybe even Johnny. You know, kind of persuading him that it's the right thing to do. So I could see that maybe the end of season 3, but I think a lot of it will be him not being around and running and trying to figure out a way, and probably getting back into some of the stuff that he shouldn't, simply because he has to survive. Doesn't have a job, doesn't have a home. What's he gonna do? You gotta sell drugs, do whatever you gotta do, right? So Art says, I honestly think that Hawk and Kreese will visit Miguel, encouraging him to get better and offering help to get revenge against Robbie. I think that's what it said before it faded. Revenge against Robbie. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see, like, what would happen. Let's say, Art, you're right. Let's say they decide to go check it out, see how he's doing. They go visit him, and what will happen if Johnny's sitting in the waiting room? What would happen if Johnny was actually there? Hold on, let me see. See, Martin just texted me. I just got home. My mom sent you dinner. Awesome. Cool. All right. You know, what would happen if Johnny was actually sitting in the waiting room when Kreese and Hawk come in. Like, can you imagine like that tension? Can you imagine like the conflict that would happen just from them being in the same room again? Oh man, it's gonna be a drama, man. I think I'm getting bit up by mosquitoes out here because my arm is itching like hell. Let me see if there's any more questions before I read another one. I honestly think, okay, yeah, so I think I'm caught up. All right, so let me read another one, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Let me see, which one did I see? This one's from Ann Brooms. So Ann, if you're watching this, thank you for putting this question or putting this comment on there. It says, when we see Johnny defend Miguel as amazing, even though Johnny must have told himself, I would never do karate again because of his skeletons in his closet, Johnny makes the effort to change because his life was messed up. And it says, I'm thinking something or someone will turn Johnny around and he becomes better than ever. And let me see, what else did it say? It says something like, find that there's irony to that his son Robbie is being just as bad as he was when he was younger, and they both have a good side to them. And so I actually thought about this today when I was, driving. I'm like, man, that's actually a great point, that they're very similar. Like, even though they came from two different scopes. So Johnny came from a family that had money, but his Sid was terrible to him, so he grew up with a lot of anger. And then here you have Robbie that grew up with an absent father as well, with a mother that's, I don't know how to say it nicely, she's just not available, she's too busy, looking for men or whatever. But both of them still have like this roughness about them, and this uncanny way of trying to protect themselves. Like, they have to do what they have to protect themselves. And Johnny's trying to soften that edge. Johnny's trying to reel it back from that, while Robbie is probably on the verge of going deeper into protecting himself out of necessity right now. So, but it is very true that they're very similar, and it's ironic. I have this, it's not a theory, but it's like, you either follow in your parents' footsteps or you become the exact opposite. And so I'll give an example. If your parents, or let's say your dad's an alcoholic, there's a probability that you could become an alcoholic as well, because that's what you see, that's the norm that you grew up with. And then there's the chance that you won't. And when you look at like what happened with Robbie, he's kind of following the same pattern, and the same pattern. So I feel bad for him, and at the same time, I think Johnny, because he's kind of torn between what made him strong, maybe physically and mentally, but not in life, was Cobra Kai. And now he's trying to figure out how to be a stronger person and a better father, which Cobra Kai never taught him that. And if you just look at like the dynamics, it would never work. Like, could you imagine, it kind of reminds me like those parents at football games that are like screaming at their kids all day long. Like, your kids are going to end up growing up to hate you and not feel like they can turn to you because you're always hard on them. So he's kind of reeling it back a little bit, but I thought it was actually a cool question or a cool comment that made me think about it. So what's up, TNT Pro Wrestling Booking Agency? Let me see. Let me scroll back a little bit. I'll read some of your guys' questions. Youth Freedom says, I heard somewhere that Nicole Brown, who plays Aisha, got fired or for whatever reason is not taking on her role as Aisha in season 3. So I've actually been hearing the same thing. Art, actually, I think I saw a comment from you a week ago after I released that video. And keep in mind, guys, I'm just releasing my theory on these characters, not necessarily by season, but just what possibly could happen to them. But I saw that too, that she may not be in season 3, which is a shame. I think season 2, her character role diminished a lot. I mean, I could think of maybe a few scenes that I saw her in, but nothing major. Let me see. And Youth Freedom says, that's too bad. I like Aisha too. I really liked her too. I really hope that her and Sam can kind of resolve this. TNT Pro says, do you think that was Mike Barnes talking to Johnny on the phone in season 1? Interesting. I've never thought about that. I've never actually thought about that. but you know it's got to be someone that he was talking to. So my money was either on Silver or Barnes, man. What's up, Ryan? Welcome back to another stream. You know, my money would be that, yeah, it probably is one of them that they were talking to or that he was talking to. But you know what? I don't ever remember that. So it had to be like the very last scene that he was talking to someone, but I don't really remember. So I'd have to go back and check that. Or if you can, if you find that clip or whatever, put it in the comments, man, and I'll come back because I always come back and check the comments anyways. Put it in the comment and then let me know so I can go back and check it later on. So, but I appreciate that, guys. Let me see. Hold on 1 second. It says Mike, Youth Freedom Fighter says probably not. There are so many mics out there. Let me see. Ryan says, what do you think Mr. Miyagi would have thought of Daniel now because of the person he became when he became blinded by pure rage when Johnny started Cobra Kai? That's a great question, guys. You know what? I think, let me just put this up a little bit. Sorry, guys. Just started this car right next to me.
The voltage is normal. Bluetooth disconnect.
So I think Miyagi, Mr. Miyagi is actually very in tune with like the progression that you go through like as an individual. That's why I always tied everything to life and life events. So I think he'd actually be really understanding. Would he be disappointed? Probably. But like guess what, guys, as parents, as coaches, whatever, we're always pushing our students to be better or children to be better. So when they make mistakes, it's always disappointing, but that doesn't mean you lose faith in them. So, but I will think, or I do think that Daniel definitely was blinded with rage after. Like he became obsessed over it, and to the point where it took over his entire life. And even with Larusso, where Larusso Autos, he spent all this time building this, and within like a span of like a couple months, he didn't give a dang about his own business, that built his livelihood. And I think Mr. Miyagi would have been a little disappointed, but he would have reeled him back and made him refocus that. Like the easiest way for me to explain it is Mr. Miyagi taught like you don't strike first, and it's defense, right? It's more of defense. And I think what he did is he became proactive to pushing the envelope. So he started striking first with doing things to the landlord, increasing rent, and just kind of like messing with Johnny. And that's what happened. All these things started backfiring, all these things started unraveling, and then it caused him to be obsessed simply because he could have just quietly watched and saw what happened, but he let it eat him up, and it caused him to take action, which led to all these events. So let me see. Art says Nicole Brown has lost a ton of weight, but her boyfriend was under the influence, wrecking her car, causing financial difficulties for her. The link is on her Instagram, selling autographs. You know what, Art? I actually saw that link too. I even thought, like, why is she selling autographs? Actually, what I was thinking is, man, I should be selling some autographs too. Just kidding. Before I forget, guys, too, if you guys want to donate in the super chat, you guys can do that as well. A couple bucks would help. I appreciate all the support, so I'll just kind of throw that out there. But I did have a chance, Art, to check out that link that you put in one of the comments, and it's pretty interesting. So Art also says, I hope it wasn't Mike Barnes because it would ruin the series. When Mike Barnes shows up, there needs to be the first time Johnny meets him to make it exciting. I want to see them fight. There's no doubt that at some point when they meet, there will be a fight. I'm pretty sure that that's what's going to happen. I agree with you, man. It's got to be intense. It's got to be, and I didn't even realize they had never even met until something. Like I never thought about it because those movies were so old, from Karate Kid 1, 2, and 3, that they had never even met, never even dawned on me. And so I think it's cool to see things through the lens of Johnny now, and so to see it through his lens and meeting Mike Barnes. And I think it was season one where he mentioned did he even know Mike Barnes when he was in that what was it? He was trying to get back into the All Valley fight and all that stuff. So that's when I was like, oh yeah, they've never met. So good insight, man. Let's see. Of course, Mike would beat Johnny as Silver and Daniel in the third movie. Last time you weren't fighting this, referring to Mike Barnes. That's very true. Art says, "Do you have a PayPal?" I actually do have a PayPal, man. It's at the on the what is it, the main screen or whatever for YouTube. At the very top by the banner, there is a PayPal for donations. So I definitely appreciate it, guys. I'm looking for a job right now, so hey, whatever, any little bit helps. I appreciate it. So enjoy the channel. And one thing too, I was thinking about this, guys, and I'm glad we're talking about Cobra Kai because something dawned on me the other day. As we wrap up for season 3, I don't know when it's going to release, but I was thinking about it. When I film these things, I film them the whole entire episode. And then what I have to do is I have to take that, 45 minutes and I cut it down into like 10 minutes or whatever. And I chop out a lot of it. And that's it. That's kind of what I post on YouTube. And a lot of it's because of, you can only use so much footage before you get a strike and all this other stuff. You have these issues or they block it, which I've had many, many videos block you guys. I just never shared that. Had to go back and fix them, and then it was fine. But I've been thinking about releasing the full videos, which means I'd have to go back and go back and fix them so that I have the whole entire episode, and maybe putting them on Patreon so that you guys can watch the full unedited, and then go into season 3 too, that you can watch the full unedited version versus the 10-minute clips of stuff in YouTube. And so I was kind of thinking about it the other day. I was thinking about it yesterday because I have all the files. I just have to go back and expand them and get the original file and just fix it and all that. It shouldn't take that long to do it. But I was curious if anybody would even want to watch the full reaction, the full 45-minute reaction. I don't even know. I don't know if anybody would want to do that. So if you guys think that would be something, I was thinking about doing a Patreon just to kind of get some donations and all that. Let me know. I'm thinking about it. I'm debating it right now, and adding extra content, and then doing more, streams in that universe as well. So that way, it's more personal with you guys that are paid subscribers and things like that. So, but let me know. Uh, Art says, I just want to see how long Johnny lasts against Mike Barnes. Am I the only one that thinks that Johnny could actually beat him? I think so. And the only reason why is if Daniel beat him, come on, guys. Daniel is not a good fighter. He's got good basic understanding, and he got a lot of heart, and he's good defense. Good defense. That's what helped him. But is he a dynamic fighter? No, he is not. And like slow and steady wins the race, right? That kind of reminds me of Daniel. But I think that Johnny's actually a pretty good fighter. He really is. And so I think he could take him, man. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Let me know who you think. I think that Johnny could take him. I think more than likely it probably end in a draw or something like that. But there's not going to be a draw, man, because it's not going to be in a tournament. Like, these guys are not going to fight in a tournament. It's going to be in the street. It's going to be like somewhere where it's not ref, you know. There's not going to be someone that says, okay, next round. It's going to be out in the streets, like Rocky number 5 style, out in the middle of the street with cars, headlights or something like that. That's what I think is going to happen. I'm not really sure, but let me know what you guys think. Art says, I wonder how Sam would react to Tori visiting Miguel in the hospital, although that may not happen because I think Tori is done with Miguel. I have a hard time believing. I think, first of all, if that did happen, Art, there's going to be some drama. There's going to be some words, there's going to be some issues between them. But I think with what has recently happened, it wouldn't surprise me that they would expect for her to do that, and that's why they would have law enforcement present, all that stuff, because she's assuming that she would try to make contact with Miguel, and the easiest place to catch her would be at the hospital, and she's too damn smart for that, man. As much as I don't connect with that character, she's still extremely intelligent, and I don't think that that's something that she would do. I don't think that she would walk into the hospital knowing that they're looking for her since she started this whole thing. And I just think she's smarter than that. So let's see what else. Okay, I'm gonna read one more comment that had me laughing, man. And so this one is from Neil O'Connor, and I'm gonna try to let them know that I, connected or read their comments and all that stuff. But it says, I blame Sam for all of this, starting from the very first episode when her and her friends were in a hit and run that caused the conflict between these two dojos. My response: the butterfly effect. One small thing can lead to a series of other things happening. That car crash set off a chain of events. 100%. I agree, man, because you look at what happened. I get it. It's you got to find a way to connect all these characters, but it's true. At any moment, some of these things could have been stopped, but that wouldn't make good TV. That wouldn't make a good series. But it was great the way that they tied all these characters back to each other. Because how else would have it happened? Like bringing Sam into all of this, and then Miguel's like, here you have these two universes, and Johnny's working with Miguel, and somehow Miguel and Sam, and you have these two universes that find a way to tie together. Brilliant writing, and so, but heck yeah, I think some of it is Sam's fault. And but I think part of it's because she's indecisive. She doesn't know what she wants out of life, and now she's starting to react, letting her emotions dictate what she does versus staying the course, being calm, being clear-headed. And we all see what happens when she didn't. Stuff happens and escalated into all of this stuff with Tori. So um, let me see. Art, I think I saw a comment in there. Let me go back. Keep in mind that Daniel beat Chosen and Mike Barnes, who are far superior to Johnny, which is why I think Daniel would still beat Johnny after having 20 years of additional training after Cobra Kai. I'm sorry, Karate Kid 3. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's a good one, man. I think. Well, here's what I'll tell you. Here's what I'll tell you. Had I not seen this series and been involved with this series, probably would have been like 100% Daniel's still gonna whoop his butt. But something about this series has shown me how much heart Johnny has. Not just as a fighter, because he still has it. He's still old, and by far one of the funniest things I ever saw is when he does that spin kick, and he's like, "Oh, my leg!" That was hilarious, man. That was awesome. But I still think that he has heart, and I've seen it more now in season 2. You see that side of him and that willing to do whatever it takes. And I think it's a lethal combination for Johnny as he progresses. And you can only imagine when his anger starts to filter into all of this too, when he lets that side, the dark side, start to affect how he fights. I think he's gonna be one lethal dude, man. So it's hard to say. I'm kind of on the fence. Like I said, I would have said Daniel 100% before, but I've grown to love Johnny's character and all of his what do you call it? I don't want to say bad traits. It's more like imperfections. The more imperfections that he has, it is what it is, man. And I've grown to really like this character and really enjoy him. Real quick, guys, don't forget to hit that like button too. I forgot to say that earlier. Don't forget to hit that like button. Share it out if you want. I probably have another 20 minutes I'm gonna stay on this stream, so this is gonna be a long one. I haven't done a long stream in a long time, so don't forget to like. You can get that up to a couple of likes. I appreciate it. And let's see. Let's see if there's any more questions before I read another one. So Ryan says, I think there's gonna be a fight between Daniel and Kreese. What if Daniel in the fight becomes like Kreese and does the whole live or die thing, and kills Kreese without being his intention? Huh. That's really interesting, man. I would actually really like to see Daniel and Kreese fight. And I'm gonna tell you why. When we look at these kind of characters, it's always from like sensei to student, right? That's kind of like even now you see Kreese as the sensei and Daniel as the student when you look back to Karate Kid 1. But that time has passed, man. So now you have Daniel as a sensei too. So there's no longer a sensei student relationship. This is sensei on sensei, and I think there's potential for him to unleash some anger. But here's what I will say about Kreese. He's still a sick fighter, man.
Like you see that scene, episode one, where him and Johnny just tossing the glass. Even at this age, man, he can still fight. So I I think that man, Daniel get kind of messed up. I don't know if he would. I don't know if he would be able to still handle himself. Only because, and I'm gonna tell you this. This is the only reason why we haven't seen him have to. Well, I take that back. We have seen that scene with him and Robbie, and he kind of beat up some of those guys. So I take it back. We have kind of seen him in action. He can still fight. Clearly, he can still defend himself. Took on multiple fighters. I think there was like three at that time against him. So I take it back. We've seen him in action, so we know he could still fight. Whether he could take on Kreese, I don't know, man. I don't see an opportunity for him to even be close like that. I think after all of this stuff, he's gonna have. I think Kreese is gonna have senseis around him. All the students now are trying to protect Kreese. So that opportunity, I don't know, man. I really don't know if that's gonna happen. But it'd be interesting to fight. And yes, I would definitely love to see them fight. What's up, New Life? Let's see what else. New Life says, and the three he fought were much younger than he was, and he has some fight left in him. Yes, I had to think about it. I was like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, we have seen him fight, man. He's still got it. Like his defense is on point, man. That's what it is. He's like Miyagi-Do, defense is on point. He's able to handle himself, and so I think it would be a pretty good fight. I don't know. What do you guys think? You think Grease and Daniel? Like, how do you think that would end? How do you think who would have the advantage, or who do you think would come out on top? I just know, however that ends, it will end badly, like with someone really busted up, broken up. I don't know if anybody would die, but that that wouldn't surprise me either, man. This show has kind of taken our breath away at certain moments, so we haven't seen anyone die. Um, Hopefully we don't, but it wouldn't surprise me if someone does, and hopefully it wouldn't be those characters. But you never know. You never know. Let's see. New Life says Kreese would play dirty. Heck yeah, he would, man. That's. This is where like I think he has like, and maybe Johnny too, man. They have this competitive advantage because they're not gonna play by the rules, man. They don't have restraint too. I think two dangerous things, guys. Two dangerous things. When you don't have restraint and you don't play by the rules, that means someone else is gonna get hurt like bad. And we've seen it. We've seen it throughout the series. We've seen it throughout the show when people get hurt because they don't play by the rules, man. And so I think that will come into play at some point. That there's a lot of restraint from Miyagi-Do and I can say some of the Cobra Kai characters too that still have a good head on their shoulders. Johnny is showing restraint. Miguel clearly showed restraint. And you see what happens. So, what else, guys? Let me see. I read this. This is from Abbas Jawad. It says it leaked that Daniel will go to Okinawa in season 3, so maybe he will ask Sato to help him if he's alive, and Chosen will ask for forgiveness, and they will come to America and help him. And so, let me ask you guys something. If you guys knew this, so I'm telling you guys, as I'm driving, I'm like, what are some awesome questions? So I actually Googled something, and I don't know if you guys know this, but the actor who played Sato, hey sweetie, I see Martin popped in. Hey, welcome to our Cobra Kai. I'm reading comments right now from like all the comments that we get, so I'm just reading them, kind of hanging out. Um, but tell Maddie I said hi. I'll be home soon. You guys know that the character who played Sato actually died in 1996. So I read this and I was like, what? And so I went and Googled it and double checked again. And yeah, he passed away. He passed away. I think it was in LA. I don't remember what city it was now. And they never explained his death. So it kind of made me think like, if that character still, they can always change who plays the character, but it'd be interesting to see that character now because I was like doing the math. I was like, wait a minute, this character would probably be um, what? Gosh, he'd be like in his 80s, man. Like he'd be pretty old because he was like in his mid 50s, I think, when Daniel was in his 20s. And here it is 30 years later. So, man, he's got to be like 80, 85. If that character is still alive. Correct me if I'm wrong on the playback. If you guys figure something out, put a comment in. But like I did kind of the math, and so I wonder how that's going to play into this character, or what happens when he goes back to Okinawa. Let me see. I saw something pop up right now. New Life says, "Are you waiting for DoorDash now?" No, I actually just finally ended the day. So I did a few hours in the morning. It was hot, man, and so then I took a couple hours off, went home, worked on some stuff at home, and then jumped back in at about 3:30. So I did it from about 3:30 to about 8. So right before I did the live stream is when I ended, and so now I'm waiting for Heaven at Dance right now. So she's probably gonna be getting out in about maybe 10, 15 minutes. So yeah, so I wonder how that's gonna affect the characters. Like, I don't know. I mean, it would kind of be weird to see another character play Sato, but whatever. I'm sure they can do it. But keep in mind the age. So, they may bring in that he passed away in this, or maybe, just maybe, that's why he's going back. Is that he passed away? I don't know. I don't know. But the real actor did pass away in 1996. If I remember, I'll go back and put the link down there. If you guys find it first, go ahead and put the link in there. But it's true. I looked it up. And since the internet's always true, right? It's always right, right? Just kidding. Let me see. Let me go back to another comment. Let me make sure. Is any comments pending, guys? If you guys are just tuning in, TNT says, "Do you think Snake will appear in season 3?" Snake. I'm not sure, man. You gotta refresh my memory. I'm trying to remember who Snake is. Just refresh my memory, leave a message, or put it in the comments, man, and I'll double check it later on. But I don't really know. This one is actually from Rob Mason. It says, I think she. This is regarding Tori on Tori's video. It says, I think she will continue with Hawk at Cobra Kai, tearing up the school. I also think Sam will go to Okinawa with Daniel without as much focus. Focus will be broken. Johnny will go to his Cobra Kai buddies for help and looking after Robbie. I've got a feeling the old generation Cobra Kai will come back to Small Valley in some way. Do you think this sounds realistic? Couple of things to unpack on there. Like, um, I never thought about Sam going to Okinawa. What about you guys? Hold on, let me just see. I thought I saw something pop up. You know, I can actually see that, and so I could really see that in all this stuff that's happened, that even Sam needs to kind of clear your headspace. So if you guys have ever been through something traumatic or been through something where like you just feel like things like the walls are kind of closing in on you, you got to clear your headspace. Like you just have to. I just did that recently. I had to go visit my buddy in the cemetery just to kind of like let all this stuff out. You got to clear your headspace. So it kind of would make sense that if Daniel decides to go to Okinawa, what's going on with Sam right now to kind of get her out of this environment and all of this nonsense that's happening or that just happened, it actually would make sense that she goes with him, you know. And I think I read some other comments somewhere about Sam too, that maybe Daniel wouldn't go alone, and that he would need someone to go with him. So why not take his daughter? So to me, those things make sense. I really think that Sam would potentially go. And like I said, these are all things after you guys, and I don't remember going back if I even mentioned Sam going to Okinawa. You guys like have such great ideas that I'm like, I never thought about that, and it makes sense, right? So I'm hoping that we see some of this stuff come to light when season 3 comes out. Ryan says, my theory for the 1984 Johnny is that he never thought he was a bully, and he was. I think he had good intentions and thought he was a good kid, but obviously failed at being good, as everyone knows. So this is what I will tell you, Ryan. My perspective of Johnny changed completely because of Cobra Kai. And I'll tell you when I realized it is when I actually parked closer for Heavy I could see the door. My wife's message. I can see the door right there. This is where I usually park every time. Um, when I went back and watched Karate Kid again after season one of Cobra Kai, because I was like, man, I don't remember that version of Johnny's like perspective. And Martin puts roll the eyes. I could see her. She could see me right. The studio's right there. Look at that door. Boop, that's the front door to the studio. Anyways, um, completely changed my perspective on him. Where I don't know if he intentionally went out to mess with Daniel. So I'm starting to believe too that like, yeah, he's kind of a tough kid. He's had some issues. Sorry, my nose is itching me. He's had issues. He's kind of rough around the edges. He likes to pick fights. There's no denying that. But I think Daniel swooped in on his girl. I really, really think that if this has happened to you, I don't think you're gonna be politely being like, "Hey, man, that's my girl. I don't, could you mind stepping away from her right now? Like, come on, guys. Like, that's not gonna happen." So there's different sides of the lenses, but I think that the circumstances forced him to react. Just keep in mind when Johnny mentioned, I think in season one, maybe season two, that he after the fight with Daniel, that he stopped messing with him, like it was over. There was no drama until Daniel gets that hose and he's in the toilet, and puts the hose of water and all that stuff, and then starts that whole scene. Then that starts up him getting beat up and all that kind of stuff. So those were all reactions to something that had happened to him. So I don't know. So let me see. Here's another question. Okay. If you guys have more questions, feel free. I probably have another five more minutes, and then we're gonna end it. Let me see if I can find another one. So let's see. Oh, one more thing about that Rob's comment. Um, the rest of Cobra Kai. So what will happen with them? It's a good question. I don't think I ever addressed it because kind of I kind of thought that the way that the show was done, that it was more of like nostalgia, like bringing the boys back together, and clearly that gave Kreese an opportunity and kind of furthered the story. But I wasn't really sure that the rest of Cobra Kai would actually their characters would come back into the whole series. I'm not sure if that would happen or not. But with this comment that Rob left, I think maybe they might. Like I don't know. They might come back to help. They might come back and maybe be the point of contact for him to try to rebuild his life. He's lived a kind of a miserable, lonely life. So turning to his old buddies kind of makes sense to help him get back on his feet. And so I think it's a great comment that like, hey, maybe Cobra Kai, the rest of the students, old students, right, from Johnny's time, will be kind of that reinforcement that he needs to get back on his feet. But I can tell you right now, boys will be boys. They're gonna give him hell. Like I told you, I told you, I told you, and they were right. They were 100% right because they knew better to let their guard down with that. And I think it's cool to see those characters that were so brainwashed with like that Cobra Kai mentality go like, dude, this guy was crazy. Like that nonsense that he was feeding us was nonsense. So definitely, I think he gets some slack from them. Being they didn't listen to their advice. So all right, guys. So I'm gonna get going because I know that Heavy's gonna be getting out probably in the next couple 5 or 10 minutes. But I hope this was fun, guys. I like reading comments. If you guys enjoyed this video, we can kind of ask questions about Cobra Kai or read comments that other people have placed on them. I gotta remember to make sure to let them know that I read their comments. And just as a reminder, like I said, you can always donate to our channel via PayPal. The super chat on the bottom corner on your super chat, you can also donate. And I think that's it, man. I think that's it. Martin, you still watching? I'm not sure if you're still there or not. But I'm going to be heading out, guys. Thank you guys so much. I will be out door dashing again tomorrow morning, pretty much every day, guys. I do it for a couple hours. And then, but I realized tonight was actually the most beneficial. Like the time frame that I picked was actually really, really helpful, and it was like order after order after order after order. It was nonstop, man. So it actually worked out really, 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 really nice. So I think I'm gonna call it a night, guys, and we'll talk to you soon. Any comments? Leave them below, or if you watch the replay. Always appreciate you guys' insight, your comments. Let me see if there's anything else I missed. Or you got one more comment. Says, I don't know about Snake because the actor seems hard to find. However, I think Dennis will return with Terry Silver because the actor is a real life martial artist and would love to be on Cobra Kai. Yep. All right, guys. Talk to you soon. Appreciate all the support, all the love, man. I appreciate it, guys. And we'll see you tomorrow on another live stream. I'm still working on some videos, but it's getting tougher to get them done. So we'll talk to you soon. All right. I'm out.